Hello. Thanks again for coming on another Tuesday for Yoga Core. As always, just give yourself a moment to look around and make sure you have a safe space. No cords or slippery objects that you might fall on if we stand up in balance or do any standing poses. We're going to do some hands and knees stuff today. And I know that sometimes our wrists can feel pretty cranky. So I'm just going to give you a heads up. Before we go to tabletop, before we go to hands and knees, just that gentle reminder, if you have cranky wrists, there's going to be different options. But if you want to do some of these shapes like at a chair or a table, you might want to put your mat or put whatever you're using, closer to a chair. You could use a wall, a table. So if you need a prop like that, just put your body closer to that. Okay. So we're going to start on our backs like we usually do, giving ourselves some time to just collect ourselves, let our bodies relax a little bit, catch our breath. Okay, so finding your comfortable lying back shape. You can bring your arms down by your side, have your knees bent. Just pause for a moment. It's really personal choice if you want to have your eyes open or eyes closed. Just give your body a moment or 2 or 5 or 10, as long as you need for your body to settle into your mat, into the floor, into the ground. And then bringing your awareness to how your body feels just physically. How does your body physically feel right now? How does your body feel energetically, your mind, your breath? Just give yourself a moment to check in. And remembering that it can be really helpful to enter these practices with curiosity and kindness. So it's important that we practice from a place of loving kindness towards ourselves, that we're here to take care of how we feel physically, emotionally, energetically. It's important that we pay attention and try and stay in our bodies, try and stay more embodied. It's really easy for the mind to drift off. And so if we practice from a place of curiosity, asking ourselves some questions, it helps us stay a little more present in that place of embodiment. So just give yourself a moment, ask yourself a few questions. It can just start with, how are you feeling? How's your breath? How's your body? And then we're going to work a little longer here, just with the mechanics of breathing. So if it's helpful, you could bring a hand to your chest. You could bring one onto your lower belly. And then we're going to try over time. So that might be 5 to 10 breaths to have a little less movement in your top hand. Okay, so a little less chest breathing. And then feeling the breath down in your lower hand. Okay, so the residue, the effects of your breath and your diaphragm. So when you inhale, feeling those lower ribs expand, the belly rise. And when you exhale, starting to feel how the ribs draw in and down, and your navel area, your belly area goes down towards the floor. Inhale, feeling, concentrating on that expanse through the lower ribs. So when you inhale, there's an expanse. You could feel your bottom hand lift up. As you exhale, the ribs drawing down, the navel releasing towards the spine or towards the floor. If you need to, you might over-exaggerate that feeling a couple times. We'll take 5 more breaths here. So as you exhale, you might feel a little of that abdominal muscular connection. So how the abdominals are connecting, a little more feeling with the ribs. So exhale, the ribs connecting with your abdominals. And this is helping to support your low back. Okay, and that's going to become really important when we roll over with your next couple exhales to your tabletop. Okay, so give yourself a couple more breaths and then you're going to roll over and build your tabletop. We're going to give ourselves some time. Strong hands, strong arms up into your strong table. Okay. So sometimes we use that imagery that, you know, we're at our house and we run out of table space, and you're going to build a table like a coffee table. And you could imagine your friends have to put their glasses, their dishes on your back. It's very active and we're strong. So we're pressing down, pushing your mat down into the ground. You can feel your knees nice and strong and stable. You can have your toes curled or your feet flat, your choice. And then can you come back to the feeling of your breath, those breath mechanic feelings. So as you exhale, your ribs still drawing down. And then maybe feeling how your navel draws up a little bit with your exhale. And this navel drawing up piece helps support this lower back piece. Okay, it's really easy for gravity to want to pull the spine down. Okay, so we want to build a really strong foundation shape here because this is going to be our home base. We're going to come back to this. So when you feel you've got that strong table, you can always come back to this feeling to reset. You're just going to walk around on your hands a little bit and warm up your wrists. So just be creative. You can go wide and you can come back narrow. You can come on your fingertips. Just trying to hold your spine, hold your ribs, hold awareness through spine, ribs, core. So as you're walking your hands out, being creative with waking up hands and wrists, you're also resisting gravity. So we're not falling down. We're not wobbling a lot through the spine, side to side. We can feel that strong table and thread it through these movements. So even as we walk, you know, maybe the hands out and the spine starts to change shape a little bit, it's from a place of strength. You can feel how your table changes shape as your spine moves with strength. And then we're going to walk our hands back out and find your strong table. So give yourself 2 or 3 breaths. There's no hurry. We really want a strong foundation. From your strong table, try and keep these elements. So ears in line with shoulders, shoulders in line with hips. Talk about this a lot on Tuesdays. We're going to start to bend your elbows. So you don't have to bring your elbow all the way down. You might come a little bit and then you're going to push down and start to straighten the arm. I'm going to start to try and wake up this feeling through the back of the arm, through the tricep. You might feel this through the back of the shoulder blade. So you're feeling muscles that we don't see a whole lot of. We don't really see the back of the arm as much as your bicep is the front of your arm. So It's learning to feel what we can't see. And it's also really working still with resistance through the spine. Try not to let the spine just drop and cave like this, okay? So those abdominal muscles connecting with your ribs, nice and strong. 2 more. If you're getting your elbows all the way down, that's great. If you're just moving like 1 millimeter here, that's great. Find just the right place. So you can have a little bend, or maybe you're bringing your elbows down. And we're gonna pause and then feel that connection to the back of your head, down through your neck, through your spine, out through your tailbone. And try and resist your spine and your ribs going to the floor. So 2 breaths, full awareness on your breathing. You're gonna press down, straighten the arms. If you need to, walk your hands out a little bit further. We're gonna do a shoulder stretch. So we're gonna let the elbows come down. So you're gonna build your forearm table. Careful not to drop the ribs into the floor like this, okay? So you're still nice, connected from the back of the head, through the neck, mid-back, low back, tailbone. And then you're gonna push back. So you're really gonna push through your hands, press through your forearms, and then take your shoulders and hips back. Your arms are gonna straighten. And you're gonna press back, tuck your chin, look down, and just stretch through the front of the armpits, through the front of the shoulders, and take 2, 3, 4, 5 breaths here. Just come back and notice where you feel the breath in your body. Take a little longer exhale. Push into your hands. And then you're gonna pull yourself forward. So feel yourself pulling your hips and shoulders back to your elbow table, and then press down and come back up to tabletop, okay? Decide, do you wanna work here or do you wanna work here? And then we're gonna switch and start to work a little more back in the hips and the hamstrings, okay? So you're gonna build your table. Remember, you can go back and forth. So if you wanna do some of these exercises here, awesome. If you wanna come back down here, great. If your wrists are starting to bug you, you can always come to fists. You can roll your mat up a little bit, lift your heel of your hand up, your fingers down. You could use a table or a chair, okay? So in your table, we're gonna keep that foundation, push your mat down. So you could push your mat into the floor, into your basement. Then you're gonna press your right leg back, and you're gonna keep your toes down for a moment and just line it up. Give yourself a moment to feel ears, shoulders. Try to let your shoulders have some space out of your ear, shoulders to ribs, to hips, to your heel. Okay, you're gonna have your right toes curled. We're just gonna rock back on that heel a little bit and come forward. Nice and slow. Can you connect your heel all the way up to your ear? What do you feel from your ear to your hip to your heel? Then when the weight is back a little bit, you're getting a little bit of a stretch through that calf. Make sure you're still really resisting gravity. It's easy to collapse and let go. You're gonna lift and lower the right leg 3 times, trying to keep as stable as you can through your table. The higher you lift with that right leg, the easier it's gonna be to collapse through the low back. So you can hold your right leg up, shoulders release down out of your ears. Spine resists gravity. So it might feel like your spine's lifting a little more with the back of your head up towards the ceiling. Hold, take 3 breaths. If you want more challenge, can you come up on your left fingertips? Maybe slide your left arm out in front of you. Go slow enough. You can feel the process of the strength of the balance. Left arm comes back down. Right knee comes back down. Good. Walk your hands forward. Bend your elbows. Push back, stretch it out. Puppy pose. Take 3 breaths. Just come back into your body, breathing. With your next exhale, feel your mat start to push down. So feel the strength in your hands as you press your mat down and come forward. You're going to pull your shoulders and hips forward. Back to elbow table to straight arm table. Rebuild that strong table. Left toes curl under, left leg straightens. Set up your table. Toes face down, knee faces down. Left ear this time to left heel. You can just slide the weight back, stretch through the back leg a little bit. Connect your heel on the left side all the way to the left ear. Next time you rock back a little bit, you're getting some stretch through that left calf area, through the heel. Pause. Make sure it's really easy, right, to let your ribs drop. Try to keep your ribs drawing up and in. Length through your low back. Strength in your upper back. Now we're going to lift and lower that leg. So lifting that leg like a lever for understanding. The higher this lever goes, the easier it is to drop into that front rib cage area and lose that core stability. So moving for understanding, next time the left leg lifts, toes are facing down, left knee's facing down. Ooh, maybe you lift your right arm. Maybe it reaches. Challenging yourself, just the right amount of challenge. When you're ready, right arm can come back down. Toes can come down, knees can come down. If you need to, walk your hands forward a little bit. Elbows come down, press back. 3 breaths in that puppy pose. Just give yourself a moment to reconnect inward to your body, breathing. And then press down into the mat. As you press into the mat, feel that pull. You want to pull yourself, grip the mat and pull yourself back to your table. Build your tabletop. Maybe move your wrists around, stretch them out if you need to. We'll take a little tabletop wrist break for about 3, 4, 5 breaths here. And then when you're ready, come back, build your strong table, curl your toes, hang out right here, or if you want more challenge, you're gonna push down, okay? So from the upper back area, shoulder blade through your tricep, push. Try to keep your sternum drawing up so we're not caving, okay? Navel, ooh, ribs engaged, floating table. Let your knees float up, okay? So holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, come down. Either sit back or take a child's pose. We'll just shake out the wrists. You can also come back and take child's pose. We'll take about 5 breaths. Okay, after you feel it's been about 5 breaths, you're gonna come back to your table. We're gonna do one more floating table. So you can do it a little differently. It's nice to mix things up and use different muscle groups. So if you want a little different challenge, come down on your forearms. Resist gravity through your spine. So it's easy when you come on forearms to just drop the ribs. Ooh, so get nice and strong. Feel your strength first. So straight arms or forearms, same thing. You're pushing your mat down into the basement. Really push down, and then maybe float your knees up. Try to keep your spine in your awareness. And then we'll count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Good job. Lower down. Sit back into a child's pose or come up on your knees. If child's pose isn't your jam, shake things out. Take a 5 breath break. Rest as you need to. And just come back, see if you can check back in with yourself. How are you feeling physically, energetically, emotionally? How's it feel to breathe in your body? Right. And then from here, we're gonna build your downward facing dog. So option 1 would be to do it on your forearms. We, like almost always in this class anyway, we build down dog, right, with straight arms. So if you want a little different challenge, you can start with your arms down in forearms. They're pretty parallel. So you could imagine you had a yoga block or something a little bit wider. And you're really pressing into your thumbs and your fingers, resisting gravity through your spine still. Then your hips can lift and you can bend your knees just like a regular good old straight arm down dog and take those hip creases back. Let your head relax. Okay, now sometimes this is too much. And if you've been here a little bit and this is too much, honor that, check in. Don't force yourself to do something that feels too much here. Then take good old-fashioned downward facing dog. And if good old-fashioned downward facing dog today feels too much, honor that and come down to table and maybe take that puppy pose or child's pose. Okay? So wherever you are, I know if you're in that elbow dog, you've been there a while, maybe you come down. And then we'll all come down and one more time, just press back. Stretch out through the front of the shoulders. If coming all the way to child's pose isn't your jam, sit on up, find a comfortable seat, shake out your arms. We're all going to give ourselves whatever shape we're in, 5 breaths. So come back. Mechanics of breathing. So whatever shape you're in, can you feel how when you exhale, your ribs still draw down? When you exhale, the ribs still draw down and back. You might feel this a little more in your navel. And when you inhale, there's some expanse. And then count 2 more breaths and we're all going to figure out how to come on up to standing. So coming on up to standing, let's start with our feet wide. So heels can come in, toes can go out. And we're just going to warm up your ankles and your knees and your hips a little bit. So in this version, we're going to try and keep your chest up. Okay. I know sometimes when we do this, we do it more like in a projected lunge kind of stance. Today, try to keep your shoulders up and back more. Knees going out over your middle toes, okay? So as you go up and down, we'll do 2 more. When you come back up to standing, pause and bring your hands to your lower ribs. Catch your breath, which really means bring awareness to your breathing. And then again, as you exhale, feeling how the ribs draw down and drop back. You might feel that through your navel area. Can you thread that same feeling gently So not like forcing it into your inhale, but when you take your inhale, can you feel a little bit of what you did in your exhale? So when you inhale, there's still a feeling of tone and strength behind your navel. And you might start to feel that tone and strength then more so in your low back. So when you go down and you're trying to keep your chest up, you're not pushing forward like this, okay? So can you feel, and it might take time. You might be like, what is she talking about? This doesn't feel in my body. I don't feel this in my body. I don't understand. So we give ourselves time. You might feel it today. You might feel it in a couple weeks, okay? So next time you exhale, then we're gonna go down into that sumo squat. We're gonna hold your sumo squat. So you wanna find just the right squat that's, healthy on your knees. We're gonna take 3 breaths. And take the arms out to the side. Let them rotate, scoop up, swing up. I'm gonna pull them down into like a goalpost. Good, then we're gonna lift up and come down. Inhale, exhale. Follow your own breath 5 more times. On your 5th one, you're gonna pause and just hold. Don't have to have a super deep bend in your knee. You find just the right squat. You still feel strength from your navel to your low back. So your low back is nice and long. Your back ribs are nice and wide. Okay, then we're gonna imagine we're holding a beach ball. So if we're holding a beach ball, we have to just flip the palms in. Imagine there's a beach ball, and so it's, some energy between your palms. Good, then you're gonna go to like a scarecrow, and you're gonna pull your arms down and rotate your arm bones so your palms face back, okay? Now be careful, when the palms face back, we don't wanna round the shoulders forward. Okay, so we're still nice and open across the front of the chest. This arm bone has some internal rotation. You can feel it's rolling in, palms back. And we're gonna bend a little deeper and take the arms back. We're gonna come on up and swing the arms up. Now, we couldn't really do this with a beach ball, but we're gonna imagine that we're holding something between the arms the whole way up and down and back, okay? So 5 more, just going up and down with your breath. Keeping some connection in the arms and the hands. Next time we bend and the arms are back in some extension, we're gonna pause. Take 3 breaths. Try to let the shoulders rest down out of the ears. Knees might need to press a little more out over your middle toes. Excellent, feel your strength. And then come all the way up. Step your feet together. Pause, come back into your body. Feel how you're doing. It's okay to have a little bit quicker heart rate, quicker breath. Give yourself 3 breaths. Check in. How are you feeling physically, energetically? And with our next exhale, we're going to sweep your arms out and up. Bend your knees a little bit. And then we're going to fold forward with lots of strength. So try to keep your spine and your back body. Go really slow. So you can feel like, oh, there's my tabletop. Then you come over, there's some spine rounding, and you find your forward fold. Bend your knees. Bring your hands up to your hips and come up nice and slow. Slow, 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 slow. Nice and strong through your back body, all the way on. Straightening your legs, arms hang. One more time like that. Feel your heels, feel the balls of your feet. If you want more challenge this time, try and keep the same amount of weight in the front foot and the back foot, okay? Exhale, arms flow out to come up. Bend your knees. Hold really slow. See if you can feel like you're taking a tabletop up and over. When you get over, pause, bend your knees, let your head hang, and then you're gonna find standing table. Bring your shoulders up, hands on your thigh bones, rebuild. We did a whole bunch of work in standing or in tabletop on the floor. So pretty similar. Can you resist gravity? It's really easy for the spine to want to go to the floor. Can you find strength across your upper back? Shoulder blades, really wide space between the shoulder blades, long from your head to your tailbone. Maybe you bend your knees a little more. Exhale, fold. Step your left foot all the way back. Bring your left knee down. Pause right here. You can come up on your fingertips. Strong fingertips, okay? So push your fingertips down and imagine you're pulling a golf ball up into the palm of your hand. All of us are gonna find our own connection to strength in your back shoulders and down through your core into your low back, okay? So we're not just collapsing forward on our leg like this, okay? So you're nice and strong. It might feel a little bit like a tabletop or a plank. And then we're gonna really try and feel that left back hamstring. We're gonna activate that and lift the back of the leg up. Nice and slow. And then let it come down really slow. So feeling connecting through the back of the left leg. One more time, find your low lunge. Okay, so something new here. We're gonna imagine we're on ice and you're gonna pull your right foot and your right thigh bone back, okay? So you're gonna pull your right thigh bone back and you're gonna pull your left back leg forward, okay? So like you're scissoring your legs into your hip sockets, okay? See if you can maintain that really strong. Nice and strong, like tabletop plank. Maybe you float your hands off and bring your elbows to your knee. Can you feel your front leg pulling into the hip? Feel your back left leg pulling forward. And then strong, like tabletop like plank. A little more challenge, hands come to the chest. Take 3 breaths. Keep that scissoring feel. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step your right foot back. Fork in the road, either plank pose or downward facing dog or tabletop or child's pose. So you can hang out in plank for a few breaths. You can press back to child's pose. We'll stay here about 20 seconds. So maybe 3 to 5 breaths. With your next exhale, we gotta figure out how to come back on up to standing. So give yourself a couple breaths to come back all the way up, slow, strong, and steady to standing. Take a full body stretch. And then we'll all stand and take 5 breaths. So coming back, asking yourself some questions. How do you feel? How's your breathing? What do you need? Great, when you're ready, feeling your feet. Maybe a slight little easy bend in your knee. Here we go. Exhale, arms flow out to come up. Remember, nice and strong. You're like folding over through a tabletop. So resist falling forward. Fold on over. Little bit of rounding through the low back. Bend your knees as much as you need. Check in that you're not overstraining your low back or your hamstrings. Then you're going to do your standing table. And this time we're going to bring your hands into your hips, just like you were tabletopping on the floor. Ears about as high as shoulders, shoulders about as high as hips. Try not to let the front of the ribs just fall to the ground. So ooh, that strength behind the navel into your low back. Couple more breaths. It's going to be a little more challenging to bring the weight a little more into the balls of the feet. When you're ready, slow and strong fold. This time you step your right foot all the way back. Slowly you can let your knee come down. Build those strong table tent hands. So if you were squeezing a golf ball up into the palm of your hand, turn on those upper back muscles. Can you feel the shoulder blades into your triceps? And then you're gonna just slowly find that back right hamstring groove. Lift that leg. Lower that leg. One more time. So feeling what we can't always see. Oh yeah, there's my hamstrings. Turn on those like plank muscles like you were holding your tabletop. And scissor the legs. Pull that front leg back. Pull that back leg forward. Find just the right amount of resistance for you, okay? And that really comes from feeling this more from the inside out. You don't want to stop breathing. You don't want to be gasping for breath. So you're going to find just the right challenge. Maybe that's bringing your elbows to your knee. Maybe not. Maybe that's keeping your hands down here. Maybe that's lowering your knee. Okay, you have agency. You want to find just the right challenge pose for you. Maybe your hands come up to your sternum. Wherever we are, settle back in, check in. How are you feeling physically, energetically? How's the breath? Just checking in for understanding. 3 more breaths. Come down slow. Step back, build either a tabletop, a plank. Maybe you come down on your forearms. Everyone has a place. We're going to find your own place. Take a few breaths, 5 breaths. After 5 breaths, we'll meet back in child's pose. If child's pose isn't your thing, you're just going to sit back. You all come back to present time experience. So just check in. What are you noticing? There's no wrong way to notice. So whatever you're noticing it. You bring your mind back and count and feel 3 full breaths. Great, and then we're going to come back to tabletop. Your choice, either straight arms or down on your forearms. And then nice and slow, connect your pelvis. Okay, so you're going to connect your pelvis through your spine up into your head through cat-cow. We're going to go slow enough that you can really feel that connection. So slow, practicing patience. Let's try for 3 cat-cows. So you could be on your forearms, you could have straight arms. Really moving more for understanding. And patience. Can you really pause and move through? For example, in my own body right now, I really want to go fast. I'm really resisting going fast. It's driving me a little crazy to go slow. But I'm learning something new about myself doing that. So just give yourself a moment to learn something about yourself. Maybe there's a place through your cat-cow that feels, pretty good. You want to hang out there and be curious and study it a little bit. Hang out there. We'll take, 5 more breaths. So either move or hold for a little bit. And then you can build your tabletop. And then we'll just walk your knees forward. And then we'll bring your feet out in front of you. And we're going to just sit back. Okay, so sorry, we're going to sit up, but back. Okay, so you're going to hold on to the back of your legs. You can feel the top of your sit bones here. And yes, your toes can be up. Okay. And we're just going to sit back. So you're going to sit back on your sit bones towards your sacrum. And some of us might start to straighten the arms. And then 3 times, we're going to use your upper back connection, okay, through your tricep connection, through your core to pull yourself up. When you come up on your sit bones, pause for a moment, find your sternum like an elevator. Let your sternum lift so you can look up. And it might feel a little bit like a baby cobra or a cow. And then back to neutral and sit back. And we'll do 2 more like that. So when you pull yourself up, pause. You might even exhale and really get that connection of the ribs drawing down and back as the sternum lifts up. And last one. So moving, pretty slowly here. Finding some spinal flexion, some shoulder blade pronation, so you feel really wide through the ribs and the shoulder blades. And this time when you sit up, exhale, ribs draw down and back. Sternum can slide up. Maybe you take your arms up and give yourself a little stretch. Good. Exhale, arms are going to come down. You're going to slide your arms behind you for reverse table. Feet are going to come flat. All right. So if this is, killing your wrist right now, come on down. We got forearms, use them. Okay. So similar to our, regular table, down creates up. So we're going to push down, push the floor away through your feet, through your arms. So legs push down, arms push down, and then lower down. Okay. So if we just think of our feet and our hands, that might not be enough. Feet and arms connect all the way through the limbs into your core. So see if you can feel and make that connection. Feet through legs to hips, hands through arms to upper back to upper abdominal. So use that connection to push, and then your hamstrings, the back of the legs that we woke up earlier, push up, 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 up. Hamstrings push up, 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 up. Back of the legs. And then you can lower back down. If that's enough for you, you're going to come forward, wrap your arms around your legs, breathe through your back. If you want to do a couple more, do maybe 1 or 2 more tables. Those of us who are tired and had enough on our wrists and our shoulders, we're going to just round forward. You want to keep doing some tables. Working from a place of strong, strong table. And then if you're doing tables after this one, we're all just going to come forward, wrap our arms around our shins, round our backs, let our heads just hang. And see if you can feel the breath in your back. It doesn't matter where you feel it in your back body, just opening up to an awareness that, oh yeah, I have back lungs. The breath moves the back ribs. And then as you feel your next exhale, just empty your lungs, let all of the air out. And slowly sit up and find a comfortable sitting shape. Great, let's just take your arms out and up one time. Little side bend. Come on up, little side bend. Hands come down on your knees. We'll take 5 breaths here to close practice. So reconnecting to the earth, feeling the steadiness, stability of the earth beneath you. Softening through the front of the shoulders, into the neck, into the throat, the tongue, the eyes. And then as we take 3 more exhales to close practice, full commitment exhale, just see if you can just lengthen the exhale a little bit. And when you're ready, you can let your eyes open. Thanks everyone so much for showing up again, taking care of yourselves, practicing with all of us. Namaste, and big high fives to everyone. Thank you so much.